could actually use a break from the heat. Yeah. Partly cloudy in the afternoon, so we will see a couple of breaks. Some streaming sun in the afternoon, 68 for the high. Showers on the way. Coming up, we're going to talk with Tiffany Harper about Pop is always, in fact, you can just kind of go there any day, maybe check out the website so you have one of their flyers, but just about every day they're doing fundraisers. A tip of the hat to not just Papa's, but the people that go there on a regular basis. I've seen a couple of people at some of the Kill Colin things we've done and some of the other fundraisers, and they don't really have a tie except they're just a good person, and they go to, I guess they like the Papa's Pizza and also like to help out the community. So tip of the hat to those folk as well. And they talk about shift work. This is going to be very.
This is a weird morning, isn't it?
If you got a job,
a weird vibe.
If you got a job and you're doing shift work, and maybe you're not happy in your job, hopefully this will motivate you and not just depress you and paralyze your hopes and dreams.
Have you ever done shift work?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
Actually, when they talk about shift work, a lot of times, too, they're also referring to working like overnights, the night shift or swing shift.
Oh, okay.
I liked overnights a lot.
It was very interesting. It was like you're in your own little microcosm because you've got certain people calling and people either on the job or just can't sleep, and you build up a rapport with them. And I remember when I was doing overnights in radio, when I'd go to fill in and do an afternoon shift or something like that, it was like so bright and they're so busy and people coming in. It was like, man,
these people need to go away.
You kind of get into your own little
bubble
cave.
Yeah,
it's more like a cave, but I liked it.
I enjoyed it too. I've worked. Cannery. I did cannery work a long time ago, which was overnights, which I really enjoyed. What I liked is that you go home, you sleep for a few hours, you get up in the afternoon, and everybody's all away doing their stuff, and you're just kind of like, oh, this is nice. And then the same thing.
If you want to go do something, or if you kind of want somebody to socialize with, you have to wait till everybody's kind of off their schedule. You didn't want that. You didn't have that need.
I didn't. No, I really didn't. That's probably one of the reasons why I like to shift work.
Why does that not surprise me?
You're telling me about this. I'm like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that part of it,
Not a
Rob.
part of that equation.
Nope. We'll have these stories coming up in just a couple of minutes. This morning has a very odd vibe to it.
Should we start drinking?
It just might as well. Well, I think people think we already have. Anyway. All right, we'll have these stories coming up in just a couple of minutes. An arrest of a student at Thurston High School. We'll have the details there. We'll take a look at statewide testing for lead in school drinking water. Huge fire burning over in eastern Oregon that is threatening 1,200 homes. And the NCAAs are here at the University of Oregon. That's right, track and field, believe it or not. Rob's going to have that story as part of news. All coming up here on News Radio 1120 KPNW, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones.
News time 7:09.
Some people avoid gluten because they have to. Others avoid it because they want to. At Burrito Amigos, they say either way, they can help deglutify your menu. For instance, they have taco salad. The best part is you can build it yourself with beans, your favorite meat, lettuce, tomatoes, cilantro, cheese, tasty guacamole, and sour cream on a bed of, yes, gluten-free corn tortilla chips. Keep in mind, Burrito Amigos large taco salad should have wheels and a 6-cylinder engine with a granny gear because it's so big. Now, if you're catering something for work, a school, or club, just order the taco salad and you don't have to worry about figuring out a gluten-free menu. or even ask if anyone requires a gluten-free meal. One thing that should also be mentioned, Burrito Amigos taco salads taste great. If you're going meat-free, Burrito Amigos has a vegetarian menu that's more extensive than most sit-down restaurants. From tofu burritos to the bueno no-cheese burrito, Burrito Amigos adds more to their menu for people who need to leave things out of theirs. Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones in Eugene and Springfield.
Stop by Kendall Chevrolet today and experience a 2016 Chevy Silverado. The Silverado is awarded as the most dependable, longest-lasting pickup on the road. Plus, with fuel-saving technology, it's a truck you can rely on to get the job done. Visit ChevroletofEugene.com to get started.
Hi, this is Sheriff Byron Trapp. If you're looking for an exciting career, my office is currently recruiting deputy sheriffs. I'd like to invite you to attend our open house on Saturday, June 18th at Pleasant Hill High School gym starting at 8 a.m. Come run the physical agility course or speak with one of our staff about a career with us. We offer a great pay and benefits package. Apply to Lane County Sheriff's Office by visiting lanecounty.org/jobs. See you on Saturday, June 18th at Pleasant Hill High School gym, 8 a.m.
This message is brought to you as a public service by the Lane County Sheriff's Office and EARS.
News, information, 24/7 on News Radio 1120 KPNW. Today's top stories. In depth. This is the Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. A senior at Thurston High School is in jail this morning after a classmate reported that the 18-year-old Joel Craig had brought a gun to school. Craig was arrested on a single count of first-degree disorderly conduct. Right now, Springfield police are saying that they don't have a gun, but they've impounded Craig's car and they're obtaining a search warrant. A school resource officer was given the tip Wednesday morning that Craig was armed and had sent texts to other students recently threatening school violence. Craig was selected as the Elks Lodge Student of the Year and was a member of the Lane County Search and Rescue Team. Well, a big event is happening at the University of Oregon. It's the NCAA Track and Field Finals, and Rob Holloway has the story.
Day one of the NCAA Track and Field Championships at Hayward Field in the books. Duck Edward Cheserek continued his win streak by winning the 10,000 meters after leaving the rest in the dust in the final lap. If you're not keeping track, his 14th NCAA title. Just amazing. His third title in a row in the 10,000 meters. He's had leg injuries this spring, so it was a great time to peak. Devin Allen moved on as expected in the 110 hurdles, posting a time of 13.38, winning the event. He's moving on in the hurdles and in the 200, finishing sixth. Greg Skipper put some points on the board for Oregon in the hammer. He took third with a lifetime best, 2:34.2. In his last meet in college, he commented on what it's like to compete in front of the home crowd.
I love throwing in front of the home crowd, and I can't say enough about the Hayward Field magic, and it's been amazing to be here at Oregon for the last 5 years. So
Oregon finished with 19 points, looking to another day of good performances today. On the slate, the final two events, the 5,000 and the 4x400 relay. We start with the updates at 11:30 this morning with Justin Phillips out there at Hayward. Here on KPNW. Bill, back to you.
Governor Kate Brown has approved using statewide resources to fight a fast-moving wildfire that's threatening 1,200 homes in central Oregon. Brad Ford has the story.
The Ackawanna fire started Tuesday, apparently by lightning, and quickly grew to more than 2,000 acres. It's burning southwest of Lake Billy Chinook. Rod Nichols with the Oregon Department of Forestry says winds are part of the problem.
The winds are expected to persist at least for another 24 hours.
The other problem is the dry fuel.
Heavy brush, and then the beetle-killed ponderosa pine there, which burns very readily.
Residents are under a level 2 evacuation order, which means be set and ready to go. The area is very dry. Central Oregon declared the start of fire season last Friday. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Outgoing Eugene City Councilor George Brown has managed to put a hold, at least temporarily, on a stormwater fee increase that was supposed to take effect at the first of next month. Brown believes that the 7.4% increase was too much without a full explanation about where the revenue was going. The council voted 6-1 in favor of Brown's motion to delay the increase until Public Works can give a full accounting of where the money is going and why it's needed. The city manager, John Reese, is empowered by code to set the fee. Sewer fees limits will still increase, though, on July 1st. A 54-year-old Cresswell man is accused of shooting his wife's dog, a 6-year-old German Shepherd, and may have a history of threatening his wife with a gun. Gregory Scott Forgy allegedly shot the dog Kuno at a home on Camaswale Road for unknown reasons.
Forgy did make arrangements to have family take him and the dog to the veterinary hospital in Springfield, and unfortunately the pup's injuries were fatal and he died on the 6th.
Sergeant Carrie Carver of the Lane County Sheriff's Office says at the vet's office, Forgy was reportedly disruptive, loud, cursing, and the like. Forgy was arrested by sheriff's deputies and booked into the Lane County Jail on a variety of charges, including first-degree animal abuse and pointing a firearm at another person and unlawful use of a weapon. Oregon Governor Kate Brown wants all school districts to test drinking water for unsafe levels of lead. Brad Ford says the Oregon Health Authority and the Oregon Department of Education plan to help.
The state will show school districts how to navigate the process.
We'll be working closely with schools and with daycare programs to provide support to them as they go forward with that testing.
Rob Cowie with the Oregon Health Authority says they'll help connect them with labs that'll test the water.
Those will be the laboratories that the Oregon Health Authority will be working with to collect lab results and post those online.
They'll work with school districts and daycare centers to conduct the testing. It'll be done over the summer so corrective action can be in place for the start of school in the fall. Brad Ford, KPNW.
It's because of recent testing in the Eugene 4J school district that several schools in Eugene's 4J are passing out bottled water to students because lead was found in some of the drinking fountains there. Bradley Allen was arrested by Douglas County Sheriff's detectives at a home in the Green District south of Roseburg. Law enforcement had been searching for the 23-year-old in connection with the shooting of an 18-month-old boy. Brooklyn Weicker called police saying her little boy had been shot by an unknown man while they were hiking in the Idlewood Park area. As investigators questioned the woman, she told them that Allen, her boyfriend, had been hiking with him and that his .22 caliber pistol accidentally went off, striking her son. Officials said she later told deputies she took Allen into town and he reportedly ran away. Allen was a felon who was wanted on a parole violation as well. The boy was airlifted to a Portland hospital and is expected to survive. Starting today, United Airlines is going to be introducing mainline aircraft service between the Eugene Airport and San Francisco International Airport. It means that larger aircraft are going to be arriving at the Eugene Airport and the smaller United planes will disappear.
Kind of a trade-off. So we will have fewer daily frequencies, but we will have more seat capacity. So that means that if you are trying to get a flight either to San Francisco or a connecting flight through San Francisco, you'll have a better chance of getting the flight you want.
Assistant Airport Director Catherine Stevens says the big planes seat up to 150 passengers respectively, whereas the small regional jets seat about 50 to 70. The larger aircraft have higher priority under flow control at San Francisco, which means fewer fog and weather delays. Alaska Airlines is starting to use fuel made from corn to power some of its jets. Brad Ford says their goal is to reduce greenhouse gases.
Alaska Airlines has used a fuel that's partially produced from corn to fly jets to San Francisco and Washington, D.C. Joe Sprague with Alaska Airlines says if they could use it to replace 20% of their fuel, it would reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 142,000 metric tons.
Which is the equivalent of approximately 30,000 cars being removed from the roads each year.
The more the fuel is used, the lower it'll cost to produce.
A large quantity of biofuels to be produced so that we can start using them not just on demonstration flights, but on all of our flights.
Using sustainable fuel is a goal for Alaska. The airline has previously used cooking oil biofuel to fly multiple commercial passenger flights. Brad Ford, KPNW.
We have a traffic advisory for you on Highway 36. That's Oregon 36, milepost 12, about 4 miles east of Swissholm. The west and the eastbound lanes are affected by a vehicle, apparently, well, it looks like it says a vehicle tire. Okay.
Vehicle fire.
Oh, fire. Okay. Well, good. That's a bit different than tire. So we have a fire out there. Fire. Crews have removed the last of the crude oil from a train that derailed Friday in the tiny Columbia River Gorge town of Mosier. The DEQ reports the oil had been trucked to the Dalles, and crews were working to decontaminate and move the rail cars off the site. Union Pacific Railroad spokesman Justin Jacobs says that the oil eventually is going to be taken to Tacoma, Washington, but that's not going to happen until it meets with the community. Union Pacific said that it's not going to move any new crude oil unit trains through Mosier until a cause of the crash is actually determined. Well, demonstrators want to see oil trains banned from the Columbia River Gorge.
This is a crucial watershed, a very sensitive area, and if there have to be any oil trains at all, this is not the route they should be taking.
Eric Rose took part in a demonstration yesterday with Native Americans planning to demonstrate today. All of the oil, as we mentioned, has been removed from the tank cars, and most of the damaged cars have been transported to Portland on trucks. An Oregon member of Congress is calling for tougher controls on oil trains. Brad Ford says the derailment in Mosier was close to Congressman Greg Walden's home.
On the floor of the House, Congressman Greg Walden called for improvements on rail lines used for transporting hazardous materials.
We need to make sure that track improvements are required, that new fasteners are used to deal with issues where, in this case, perhaps it is a track separation issue.
Investigators believe a bolt failure caused the derailment. Walden's house is 7 miles from the site where the train derailed and burned last Friday.
We need to make sure we've got the most up-to-date safety, the most up-to-date training, and the safest cars and tracks possible.
Walden visited the site of the derailment over the weekend. He has also met with executives from Union Pacific and Burlington Northern Santa Fe, the two railroads that transport oil through the Columbia River Gorge. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Oregon's motor voter law starts its second phase tomorrow, contacting 145,000 people who went to the DMV over the last 2 years and are not registered to vote. Molly Woon in the Secretary of State's office says they'll have three options.
You can send this mailer back and tell us, no, I don't want to be registered to vote. You can send the mailer back and choose a political party if you want to join a political party, or you can do nothing, and after 21 days you will be added to the voter registration rolls as a non-affiliated voter.
In the 6 months since the law took effect, more than 50,000 people have been registered to vote. Well, likely this individual is not going to be nominated as Mom of the Year. Police in Corvallis say that a woman was too intoxicated to take care of her daughter after showing signs of being incredibly drunk at Avery Park. Police received complaints of an extremely intoxicated woman at the park. Witnesses reported the woman stumbling around, urinating in public, and then eventually falling down an embankment at the park. And yes, the woman had her daughter with her. 44-year-old Janelle Ramsey had a blood alcohol level of 0.265%. According to authorities, she was arrested on suspicion of recklessly endangering another person, and they also banned her from the park. It's 7:22. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
NBA Finals, the Cleveland Cavaliers decided to take part in the series, have a game at home. That helps. After losing by 33 and 15-point margins, LeBron and company returned the favor and ran the Golden State Warriors out of Ohio, basting the champs 120-90. LeBron James scored 32. Kyrie Irving added another 30 for the Cavs. Steph Curry seemed distracted, intimidated, aloof. He led the Warriors with 19. Cavs, by the way, can tie up the series, if you can believe it, in Game 4 happening tomorrow night. Oregon football team Wednesday. Oregon got a commit from U.S. Army All-American defensive tackle Rutger Reitmeyer. He had received offers from Nebraska, Tennessee, Penn State, Arkansas, and West Virginia, among others. The 6'3", 270-pound Reitmeyer is coming west from Lipscomb Academy out of Nashville. Oklahoma won their third NC2A softball championship on Wednesday, besting Auburn in the title game 2-1 in Game 3. Third-seeded Sooners scored their 2 runs in the first inning. Well, you've probably heard, but if not, tennis star Maria Sharapova has been given a 2-year suspension after she tested for meldonium, which just became a banned substance December 31st. She's appealing the punishment. It will be telling to see how much of her $25 million estate takes a hit. If somebody has a good spell check, maybe send it to Adidas. They're receiving bad marks for the spelling of the country Colombia in an ad where it was spelled with a U. Adidas, which is based in Portland, might have just been thinking about Columbia, their competition, across town. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle, where you can always get a free consultation from a certified nutritionist. I'm Franklin, across from Market of Choice. News time, 7:25.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're already out and about, we do have mostly cloudy skies from an approaching weak storm system and cold front setting to move through the area over the next few hours. Temps right now in the mid-50s to low 60s with winds out of the west at 5 to 10. And we do have a 20% chance of a few light sprinkles out there, but I don't expect any real accumulation. Now, as we move through the day around noontime, the cold front will pass through. That's when we will have a chance of showers that could last 5 or 10 minutes, and we could be talking about maybe 1/10 of an inch. As we move into the afternoon, we'll see a couple hours of partly cloudy skies, but I don't expect them to last long. Highs will only be in the upper 60s to low 70s, so much cooler than it has been the last few days. Winds will stay southwest at 5 to 10, and we're tracking several disturbances, bringing in chances of showers into Friday and Saturday, and maybe even just a few isolated thunderstorms Saturday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, brought to you by Builders Electric, providing smart electrical service since 1960.
Margaret Thatcher, the former Prime Minister of England, said in one of her Parliament speeches, "Standing in the middle of the road is dangerous. You get knocked down by the traffic from both sides." You know, many people actually believe that being in the middle of the road is the safest place to be. Riding the fence won't get them into any trouble, and unfortunately, they also tend to not move forward in life since they're so busy getting hit from both sides. Without a doubt, there's more opportunities for success in life by picking one direction or the other. At least while you're moving forward, you only get hit from one side. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
Today's Motivational Minute was sponsored by Builders Electric, voted the Register Guard's 2015 Reader's Choice #1 electrical contractor, providing positive service for over 55 years. That's Builders Electric, CCB 4296.
Built for business. Waiting. No one enjoys it. With Comcast Business, you can do less of it. Because Comcast Business Internet is up to 5 times faster than DSL from the phone company, which means less waiting for things like security backups and file downloads. Plus, it's a better value when you select the fastest plan. So do what nearly 1,000 businesses do every day and choose Comcast Business. Unless you'd prefer to wait. Switch to Comcast Business Internet. Then add one voice line and TV for just $34.90 a month for 2 years. And ask about their low price guarantee. Call 800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com. That's 800-501-6000. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Offer ends 8/31/16. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees, including broadcast TV fee extra. Compares Comcast 100 megabits per second and 20 megabits per second DSL downloads.
Join Max Muscle for our 5-year anniversary this Saturday. Meet 4-time Mr. Olympian Jay Cutler and former Duck and NFL star Jeff Mayle. Great food from Qdoba, tons of in-store specials and giveaways. Max Muscle of Eugene, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
For the all-new John Deere riding mowers, tractors, and side-by-sides, think Ramsey Waite.
Make tracks to Ramsey Waite for John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers.
There's nothing like a John Deere Gator utility vehicle. From hardworking and trail-ready to the ultimate in work capability. Get into a Gator now at Ramsey Waite.
Don't just dream about it, wait for it!
Ramsey Waite.
Open Monday through Saturday. Franklin Boulevard, Glenwood. Online at RamseyWaite.com.
Listen to In the Garden with Mike Darcy this Saturday, 9 to noon, for gardening tips that'll help make your garden bloom. Listen to the experts or call in with your own questions. Sponsored by Plant Fashions Plus, superior plants grown by gardeners for gardeners on Jasper Road in Springfield.
And now, more wake-up call. Have no fear. From the Widmer Brothers Studios.
I'm out of ideas. Anyone?
It's News Radio 1120. KPNW.
729 News Radio 1120 KPNW. Clouds currently and 53 degrees. On the way to a whopping 68. Oof. We are joined by Tiffany Harper, our second Tiffany for the day. Tiffany joining us on the Wake Up Call. Tiffany, I wish it was under better circumstances.
Well, you know, life happens and we have to come together and get through it. So
I like that attitude. We have a Papa's Pizza fundraiser that we're going to talk about in a bit, happening today. But before we do that, let's talk about who we just lost.
Yes, we lost my mother. Her name is Rose Mina. Many people also know her as Rose Harper or Mama Rose. She opened her home to so many people in the community to feed them if they had any setbacks in their life. She would open up her doors and let them stay the night and get themselves back on their feet. And we want to honor her memory by gathering support from the community to honor her wishes to be sent back to Kenya, Africa.
Not just the community, but apparently a huge family. Somebody told me, I don't know if it's true, that you are one of 8. Is that correct?
One of 7. I'm the baby.
Wow.
Yes.
What, if I can, what was it something that just came on all of a sudden, or was it something that she had been battling?
It was very unexpected. So we are just, so grateful for everyone who is helping us at this time. A lot of us are all over the world, a lot of our children in the country. Like I'm going to graduate school in Kentucky, and I flew in as soon as I found out because I knew I had to be here.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so what the effort to get her back to Kenya, where did this come from?
So my family are from Kenya. I'm actually the first and only American-born of my siblings. So we came to this, rural community in Junction City and stirred it up and really brought a livelihood of culture and support for the community. And my mom was just so well at integrating into Oregon, especially a rural area, and really added a lot to the community.
Tiffany, why did she head to Junction City in Oregon?
Well, my family actually came to the United States because my uncle was an Olympian runner for Kenya, and my mom came to visit. And at that time, she kind of captured the imagination of a farm boy named Warren Harper, and they fell in love, and he followed her to Kenya and married her and adopted my older siblings and had my brother Brian in Kenya. And then after they moved to the United States and were farmers in Junction City, I was born. So it's this beautiful story about how it doesn't matter where you come from, you can love somebody and create another world. So
if you if someone's going to eat today, or maybe a couple of times, what would you encourage them to do?
Oh, we would encourage them to head to Papa's Pizza Parlor on West 11th in Eugene. We are having a Rose Mina Memorial Fund, and so whenever you go into Papa's Pizza, you have to show them a flyer, which is available on the Papa's Pizza website. It's called the Rose Mina's Memorial Fund. You go ahead and bring your family, bring your friends, bring your coworkers into Papa's Pizza today and make a purchase, and half of your purchase goes to the Rose Mina's Memorial Fund, which will help us be able to honor my mother's wishes by going back to Kenya so that she can be buried next to my brother and both of my grandparents on our family farm in Kenya. So
cannot be cheap. Cannot be cheap to get her back there. That's
yeah. Oh gosh, it's very expensive, but we're working with an outstanding funeral home in Springfield. It's called Major Family Funeral Home, and they are just doing all the paperwork, and we're just very lucky.
Tiffany, is there any other, if somebody can't make it to Papa's, is there any other banks holding any kind of fundraisers?
Yes, so we have multiple platforms for people to give donations, because we know that, depending on where you live and your work schedule, it may not be fitting to come into Papa's Pizza, but we have an account set up at Oregon Community Credit Union. You can go into any of their branches and say you'd like to donate to Rose Mina's Memorial Fund. That's a nice option. And we also have a GoFundMe account. So you go on to GoFundMe.com, and then you would type in Mama Rose's Send Off to Kenya. So it's GoFundMe.com and Mama Rose's Send Off to Kenya. And through there you can go ahead and type in your information and be able to make a contribution of your choice.
Well, it's probably great to see the state again and see family, but just under these unfortunate circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy to know so many people in the community cared about my mother, and my siblings are here, and we're working very hard and doing exactly what my mom would have wanted.
Well, Tiffany, hang in there, and I'm sure we'll get a crew out there to Papa's, and thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you allowing us on the station this morning.
Sure, absolutely. Tiffany Harper on with the Wake Up Call again. Papa's on West 11th. It is 7:35, News Radio 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. U.S. stocks are falling on Wall Street as commodity shares decline amid speculation that equities may have run too far too fast given the lackluster prospects for global growth. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 60 points to 17,944. S&P 500 index falling 8 points, the Nasdaq slipping 15. Among stocks moving, Restoration Hardware Holdings is down 20% after the upscale furniture chain posted a loss and cut its annual earnings forecast. Natural gas producer Chesapeake Energy is down 3%. While the unemployment lines are a little shorter, initial jobless claims dropped by 4,000 last week to 264,000, an almost 16-year low, suggesting employers are reluctant to trim payrolls. Additionally, the number of workers receiving jobless benefits dropped to 2.1 million, the lowest since 2000. Donna Wilson, Bloomberg Radio.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Warmer weather is coming. You may be ready, but is your vehicle? Midlane Truck and Equipment Repair can perform a complete inspection of your cooling and air conditioning system to ensure you and your vehicle stay cool when it gets hot out. Offering bumper-to-bumper service and repair on trucks, RVs, autos, and trailers, including general maintenance, in-frame overhauls, welding, fabricating, liftgate, and reefer repair. Call Midlane Truck and Equipment Repair now to beat the heat.
Guys, when you buy your clothes at DXL, you look good. But you feel like a rock star. So if you want to look and feel like a... You'll find all the brands you love, waist size 38 and up, all in one awesome store. DXL, you're looking good. For every $75 spent in-store through Father's Day, get a $25 coupon good June 20th through July 4th.
What is it about buying a mattress that leaves you feeling violated? Pushy salespeople, fake sales, the walk of shame out of the mattress store? Those days are over. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, co-founder of Helix Sleep, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to helixsleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to helixsleep.com/try now. That's helixsleep.com/try now.
They put their lives on the line for you, and now you can help them. The Oregon Paralyzed Veterans of America needs volunteers. As a volunteer, you can help out at events throughout the year, whether it's manning a booth at a fair or helping with sporting or recreation activities for the vets. You can even just answer phones. The OPVA assists vets who are paralyzed or dealing with other mobility impairments. To volunteer or donate, call 503-362-7998, 503-362-7998, or visit OregonPVA.org.
They step up. Our service members volunteer to protect us in the most dangerous places around the world. And when they are severely ill or injured, returning to their families is only the beginning of their long road home. Wounded Warrior Project provides these brave men and women whatever they need to continue their fight for independence, at no cost for life. So now it's time for a grateful nation to step up. Join us at findwwp.org.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we've got mostly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the mid-50s to the low 60s with light winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking a couple of sprinkles on radar, but no real rain accumulation. As we move through the day around your lunchtime, I expect the cold front will sweep through the area. That's when we have our best chance of getting about a 5 or 10 minute burst of showers. But I only expect about a 1/10 of an inch maximum as the cold front will sweep quickly into the Cascades. Now, the same cold front will give us partly cloudy skies for a few hours in the afternoon, and that will keep the highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. But as we approach the evening, mostly cloudy skies move back into the area. Now, we're tracking a couple of isolated and weak storm systems, but they have decent cold fronts in them. Those will be moving through over the next 24, 48, and 72 hours. Simply put, we have a good chance of showers off and on for your Friday as well as your Saturday. Temps back in the 60s, but we may see a few isolated thunderstorms Saturday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day and you enjoy the fact it is much cooler.
Oh, yeah. I was just imagining that I was asleep on the Tempur-Pedic. You could be imagining the same thing. Actually, you could be actualizing that by going into Sleep Train and picking up a Tempur-Pedic or a Posturepedic, any mattress that fits you after you've done the perfunctory free test lay. Find the one that works. You get the bedding. You have it delivered to your house if you pick it out by 2 o'clock today, because Sleep Train's going to do that. They're going to deliver it to your house. Oh, yeah, they're going to take that old mattress and cart it off for you. Anyway, then, tonight, you'd be sleeping on this brand new mattress. And you wouldn't be sitting there thinking about, gosh, it would be nice to get a good night's sleep on a great mattress. You'll actually be living the dream.
Tempur-Pedics get a lot of attention. Do you think that when they come to work every day, they kind of talk condescendingly to the beauty rest and the Sertas and kind of have them pick up coffee and don't give them eye contact?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red, white, and blue sale going on right now where you can save big bucks on Sealy Posturepedic and Simmons Beauty Rest, 2 of Sleep Train's most loved mattress brands. And if you don't love them, maybe you need to go take a test lay. Dreaming of a Tempur-Pedic? 3 years interest-free financing, even on Tempur HD models, which you'll not find anywhere else. Plus, no money down. Call 1-866-780-6220 for credit costs and terms. And for new accounts, purchase APR 29.99%, subject to credit approval. Hey, Tesla could be in your future because a brand new mattress from Sleep Train could be in your future even tonight. In Eugene, Springfield, Corvallis, and Salem. And tell them you're like this with the Wake Up Call.
The Wake Up Call. Wake Up Call. On 1120. KPNW.
7:43, good morning, live and local from the Widmer Brothers Studios. Every workday, you get the wake-up call. So apparently, fried Twinkies are a thing that you can buy. I think it said just at Walmart at this point. So if you have ever heard, like the Texas State Fair, you're like, I think I'd like to try one. It says you can try it hot.
How do you try them hot? Do you microwave the things? Are they microwave Twinkies? Is that what the deal is?
You probably could.
Just like Mom used to make. Oh, yeah, I remember when Mom used to make those Twinkies when I was a kid. They were so good.
I would think that the romance of the fried fried Twinkie would be the fact that you're getting them kind of fresh out of the sauce.
That's kind of what I was thinking,
kind
too.
Of still crispy and...
Right. As opposed to, I have this thing that was formerly fried and hot in a plastic see-through bag.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to opening up a big old can of this.
Might be a big seller in some parts of the world.
Yes, and then other people might be saying, oh, so this is why Twinkies went out of business.
744. What's a you on the fried? Are you thumbs up? I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't want to have it for a regular meal, a meal replacement. But would you try one out of the crusty box? Coming up, we're going to talk about shift work and
out of the crusty box. Well, see, that's part of the marketing problem right there. That the boxes are crusty. They need to improve the boxes. Once they get past the crusty boxes, then maybe people will go, "Oh, I must have one."
There's so many preservatives, though. These things probably don't even need a box. You could put them. Just.
Is that true, or is that just an urban legend?
About the preservatives?
Yeah.
And Twinkies?
Yeah. Are you telling me that you've read the ingredient label on Twinkies and have been able to identify all the preservatives?
To identify them?
Yeah. You can look and look at the chemicals and go, oh, that's a preservative. Oh, that's a preservative. Like, is BHA a preservative? I don't know.
I think I have read the ingredients, but I couldn't tell you. I couldn't recount from that fateful day what we came up with.
All right. All I know is that it's just golden sponge cake that somebody has inserted white stuff in. That's the way to sell it, London. Beautiful day out there. By the way, Highway 36. Still
got that tire out there?
Yeah, they've got that tire. That's
a vehicle tire.
Yeah, milepost 12. Actually, it's a vehicle fire, although I could not read Rob's handwriting.
And they have tires on 126 as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they do have tires on
126? Tires.
Multiple tires on 126? Okay. So just know that's the case. We're going to be talking about shift workers. Are you one of those folks? I have heard that, in particular, police officers deal a lot with this because, and patrol officers in particular, because their shifts change. They go for a few weeks or a month or so on one shift, and then they're working swing shift, then they're working night shift, and they have very little time to adjust their sleeping schedule. Well, at least according to one study, found that it's not long, weird hours that's the problem, which is what some folks thought that caused these higher risk of health complications. That it's not that, but it's a big part of it is it's the eating habits. And the way that it kind of unwinds a person's body clock. To talk about it, John Duncan, he's the CEO of Viascan. They are a company that specializes in the early detection of heart disease. Hi, John. Thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So how big a problem is this really? I mean, it shows that they're more prone to heart attacks and obesity and the like. I mean, in what you do you see... I mean, have you noticed that anecdotally that you deal with a lot of people that, more so that are shift workers than just average, 8-hour day, 8 to 5 folks?
Absolutely. We do heart scans here. That we have a heart scanner that is one of 65 that's like it in the world. And what our scan can do is it can detect this heart plaque when it's a size of 0.5 millimeters or a pinhead size. So we can see it early, therefore we can treat it early, and that treatment we can determine if it's effective that allow that plaque to be reversed, stopped, or slowed, and you can die of healthy old age, and we can prevent these heart attacks because that plaque that goes undetected and untreated grows over years and period of time. I've been a heart researcher all my life. I was a chief medical scientist at Cooper Clinic here in town for 15 years, so we definitely see these associations between obesity and cholesterol and blood pressure and diabetes and heart and stroke problems. And so night shift work seems to be very disruptive metabolically to the body that may contribute to these factors of obesity, diabetes, and so on. So there is an interrelationship between all these factors.
Okay, but specifically, I mean, in what you do, you have noted that, that there is a larger or a more sizable percentage of folks that are shift workers that you're dealing with as opposed to folks that are normal 8 to 5, 9 to 6 folks?
Well, we see folks from all spectrums, work day shift, night shift, and so on. And we see that the night shift workers, when we do their heart scans, they may have plaque in their arteries, but it's also related to these other factors, obesity and high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and diabetes. So it doesn't mean that it's inevitable if you're a night shift worker. It just means that we need to really have a heads up and pay attention to the lifestyle issues, because they can overcome these problems, and so that doesn't make it inevitable. If we eat healthy, right body weight, exercise, that will go a long way, whether you're a night shift worker or a daytime worker, in making sure you maintain your good health rather than lose it and then try to regain it.
Do you find people in what you do that even though they eat right, they exercise, they do the right things in their life, that they still end up, that for whatever reason, genetically, or they're just more predisposed to it, will, have heart plaque and these kind of issues, even though they're doing all the right things?
Well, there's no doubt genetics plays an important role in heart disease, heart attacks, and cancers. When I was in the research program at Cooper Clinic, and other scientists around the world would investigate these issues, it was clear that genetics plays a role. I used to evaluate a lot of world-class athletes that had world records, and so been around sports medicine for a large part of my career. And sometimes those people, even though they may have a world record in a distance running event, like a marathon or something, they might have heart plaque. And so that brings your point that there are genetic issues. But I think what the science also is very clear is, even though you may be predisposed to genetically to heart disease, we have powerful treatments today. That same science that I was involved in, that we published in the AMA journal JAMA, shows that if you exercise 35, 40 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you reduce your risk of death from all causes by 60%. That's no trivial number. It's the most powerful medicine you, me, or any of the listeners have to bear to maintain good health today. 60% lower death rate in people that exercise 5 days a week.
All right. John, I appreciate you joining us on the Wake Up Call. You take care.
You have a good day.
All right. John Duncan, CEO of ViaScan. They specialize in the early detection of heart disease. It's 7:52 News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Get set to save now at Mid-Valley Tractor, your local Kubota dealer. Take command of your lawn care needs with a new Kubota Commander zero-turn mower. Get commercial-grade performance and a full 4-year factory warranty at a price you can afford. Now during the Get Set to Save sales event, get a special introductory price of $38.99 and 0 down and 0% financing for 36 months. Now through June 30, 2016. Call toll-free 1-800-794-4992 for details about cost and terms. Great prices, great products from people you can trust. Mid-Valley Tractor on Highway 99.
The best real estate market in a decade. Less homes for sale, coupled with low interest rates, get you the top dollar for your house in today's market.
So if you have to sell so that you can buy and you don't want to be without a place, you need to call Eric and Jeanette Harpole with Keller Williams Realty. Really, they're expert negotiators. They specialize in working with their clients that need to sell so they can buy their next home. And if you want to sell within your time frame and get the most money possible, these are the folks.
Obviously, you know that not all agents are the same. In fact, Eric, Jeanette, and their team outsell all other agents in Lane County. The reason? Better marketing, top-notch negotiating, their exclusive enhanced listing program, and unlike other agents, they offer flexible commissions. Hey, if you're not happy, fire them. You are in control.
You can get free information about selling your house this spring or summer. Give them a call, 541-286-3030. That's 541-286-3030. Or just go to harpolehomes.com in Lane or Douglas County.
Right now, by clicking on OregonEDeals.com, you can save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on goods and services from local businesses. OregonEDeals.com. Save on products to make your life better.
I'm hooked on OregonEDeals.com. I'm saving big.
I need to find a happy story right now.
Holloway in London.
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
Wayne County's wake-up call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. I've talked from time to time about having cash to invest when something gets cheap. But you can only do that if you either save the money or raise it by selling things when they're expensive. Of course, finding tops is a lot harder than recognizing bottoms. Once you know how, it's pretty easy to tell if a company or a piece of real estate is cheap. If you could say rent a house after all the expenses for a 12% cash-on-cash return, that's a really good deal. Or if you can buy a stock in a company for half the net value of its hard assets, particularly if those assets are largely in cash, that's a deal too, and pretty easy to spot. You just have to buy and then wait for prices to normalize to book a big gain. Buying things this way also limits your risk, even if prices do go lower for a while longer. Here's the nugget. Telling when something is overvalued is not hard either, but that doesn't mean it won't get a lot more expensive before reality sets in and the price collapses. Think about houses in 2005 or 6 and watch the movie The Big Short for a good tutorial. Or better yet, read the book. For many, this book will be a very hard slog, but it's well worth it for the education, and you'll get paid for your time. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're already out and about, we do have mostly cloudy skies from an approaching weak storm system and cold front setting to move through the area over the next few hours. Temps right now in the mid-50s to low 60s with winds out of the west at 5 to 10. And we do have a 20% chance of a few light sprinkles out there, but I don't expect any real accumulation. Now, as we move through the day around noontime, the cold front will pass through. That's when we will have a chance of showers that could last 5 or 10 minutes. And we could be talking about maybe 1/10 of an inch. As we move into the afternoon, we'll see a couple hours of partly cloudy skies, but I don't expect them to last long. Highs will only be in the upper 60s to low 70s, so much cooler than it has been the last few days. Winds will stay southwest at 5 to 10, and we're tracking several disturbances, bringing in chances of showers into Friday and Saturday, and maybe even just a few isolated thunderstorms Saturday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. U.S. stocks are falling on Wall Street. The Dow is down 72 points to 17,932. S&P 500 index dropping 9 points. The Nasdaq slipping 18. In support of Fed Chair Yellen's belief that the economy will continue to improve, a report out today shows first-time jobless claims dropped last week, and the number of Americans already receiving benefits tumbled to an almost 16-year low. Well, Disney has signed a deal to produce films in China, soon to be the largest movie market in the world. And CEO Bob Iger tells Bloomberg at least one of the Disney-branded movies will be in production within a year.
We're very far along on this process, including developing ideas, concepts for films, and identifying talent already to actually make those films.
Disney is also opening its first theme park in mainland China next week. Donna Wilson, Bloomberg Radio.
I have no objection whatsoever to America becoming smarter about the way it gets and uses energy. But the Democrats are talking about cutting us off from all the forms we use now. I'm Lars Larson with the Northwest Report's commentary in just a moment. Have you ever thought about all the money you spend at the pharmacy buying a shaver, and it's just a cheap piece of plastic? Harry's.com was started by two guys passionate about creating a better shaving experience. They bought a blade factory in Germany. They turn out the best blades, and the starter kit, $15, and it's delivered to your house, and delivery is free. Go to Harry's.com right now. Enter my code name Lars in the promo box, $5 off your first order. Enter my code name Lars for $5 off your first order. That's Harry's.com. Change the way you shave forever. Hillary Clinton, the rest of her green friends, imagine a day, literally, when we will not drill for oil or gas. And in fact, the folks over at the Sierra Club, Lena Moffat in particular, says we are doing everything we can to bring the same expertise that we brought to taking down the coal industry and coal-fired power to taking on gas in the same way, to ensure that we're moving to a 100% clean energy future. Do these folks realize that without natural gas and without oil to make gasoline and diesel fuel, this country stops moving? And Hillary Clinton is their champion. And if you vote for her, you're voting for an energy-deficient America. For Northwest Reports, I'm Lars Larson.
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. He had hoped to move into the White House next year. Now Bernie Sanders is going there for a meeting after Hillary Clinton won the Democratic race. Fox's John Decker is there live.
Bernie Sanders will arrive at the White House in minutes for his scheduled Oval Office meeting with the president. The meeting comes just days after Hillary Clinton secured enough delegates to become the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee. The president has not yet endorsed Clinton, and he preys on Sanders at a taping of NBC's Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
He pushed the party and challenged them. I thought it made Hillary a better candidate.
Sanders, who has a campaign rally here in D.C. tonight, has vowed to stay in the race through the Democratic convention late next month. Dave?
John, the last Republican to drop out of the race, John Kasich, says he still can't get himself to back Donald Trump.
Look, I can't go for dividing, name-calling, or somebody that doesn't really represent conservative principle.
Trump is meeting today with Republicans who do back him, raising money, no longer saying he'll need $1 billion.
He's meeting with state party finance chairmen to talk about the joint agreement to raise money with and for the Trump campaign for the general election. He is only about 2 years late compared to the Clinton campaign in terms of putting together a war chest for the upcoming 5 months. And he has backed away from that $1 billion goal, principally because he says he gets so much free TV time that he doesn't need to spend that much money.
Fox's Carl Cameron. Israel's military is going to send more troops to the West Bank the day after 2 Palestinians shot and killed 4 Israelis in a restaurant.
Soldiers also measured the family home of one of the attackers in preparation for demolition. In addition, the military suspended tens of thousands of temporary permits given to Palestinians to visit relatives in Israel during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. The military also says it froze Israeli work permits for some 200 relatives of the attackers.
Fox's Daniela Cheslow in Tel Aviv. In Iraq, twin suicide bombings today have killed at least 31 people, wounding about 60. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
About 2% of the population has a condition known as scoliosis, or curvature of the spine, with the vast majority of cases occurring in children. Some schools sponsor scoliosis screenings, but parents can watch for symptoms such as uneven shoulder or waist, prominent shoulder blades, or leaning to one side. Detection and treatment are the best ways to prevent an existing problem from getting worse. The specialists at Neurospine Institute can properly diagnose scoliosis and determine the best treatment options for your child.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg Clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
The trial starts today for another Baltimore police officer charged in Freddie Gray's death, which caused protests and rioting, though that cop's trying to get the case dismissed. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Well, Dave, before that trial gets started, the judge is hearing arguments on whether prosecutors improperly withheld discussions with a potential witness. Officer Caesar Goodson's lawyers want the judge to dismiss the case, and they argued the prosecutors didn't tell them about a meeting they had with a second man who was in the police van. Now, the prosecution admits to meeting with the man, but they say they didn't get any new information from it and don't plan to call him as a witness. Goodson, the driver of that police van, is charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, assault, misconduct, and reckless endangerment. 2 other officers have already been tried in Gray's death. One was acquitted in a bench trial. The other ended in a hung jury, Dave.
Tanya police in Hartford, Connecticut, trying to figure out whoever made a threat on social media that prompted a high school to be locked down this morning. While in Boston, the search continues for the gunman who killed a student outside of Dorchester High School.
One student is dead. 2 teens are wounded, as well as a 67-year-old woman, as classmates at Jeremiah E. Burke High School mourn.
My friend died. That's what happened.
The victim, described as a 17-year-old boy. Boston police say the shooter opened fire as students exited the school during a fire alarm in broad daylight Wednesday. Police Commissioner William Evans voicing concern that no one has come forward.
And shame on anybody who doesn't step up to the plate and help us solve this.
Trauma counselors are at the school today. Tom Graham, Fox News.
A Louisiana man is free on bond, charged with negligent homicide in the death of his daughter, who died in her car seat yesterday in a hot car. Telling police he said he forgot to drop the 8-month-old off at daycare and went to work. He saw her in his car during lunch break, drove her to the ER, but it was too late. A father in Georgia left his son in a hot car to die and is charged with murder. Prosecutors say it was intentional. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 57 points. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
News Radio 1120 KPNW 805. Right now, the lone snafu, 36, 4 miles east of Swissholm, the lovely metro of Swissholm, eastbound lane now affected with the vehicle fire. Everything else looking good. Thankfully, you don't have that big, bright solar ball blinding you where you need your sunglasses. Cloudy with partly cloudy afternoon skies, 68 for the high. Showers on the way, moving in tonight, 40% chance. Overnight dip down to 49 degrees. Coming up, Conley on tape. Conley is on assignment, so we'll get some Gary Conley that perhaps you missed.
Super secret stuff he's doing.
Seriously?
You say he's on assignment. It's super secret stuff. It has to do with government labs and, just stuff you can't talk about. I have already spoken.
Too much. Yeah, pipe it. Also, catch up with the McKinsey Business Association, find out what they're up to. The MBA, the true MBAs out there coming into the studio. And news, too.
We'll have these stories coming up. We'll have an update on the big fire that's burning just on the other side of the Cascades from us that's endangering a number of homes there. We'll have that story ahead. We'll also take a look at an arrest of a senior at Thurston High School accused of bringing a gun to school. Also, a big change coming to the Eugene Airport, and the latest on the controversy over oil trains going through the Columbia River Gorge. Those stories and more brought to you by Burrito Amigos. We're admitted you need a machaca burrito right now. Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. News time is 8:07.
Somebody coined the phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If that's true, why do people eat such weird stuff for breakfast? Fried dough, rolled in sugar, mystery meat on an English muffin, stale bread dipped in egg and fried? If breakfast is important, treat it that way with a breakfast from Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You get real food real fast, and it's real good. It's no mystery, I'm the bacon guy and love their bacon burritos with 2 types of bacon, I'll remind you. But Burrito Amigos can set you up with link sausage, huevos rancheros, chorizo, meatless burritos, or my new almost favorite, the machaca burrito with black Angus steak, sauteed onions, and green peppers mixed in with potatoes. Delicious. That's a Bill London endorsement, by the way. And mornings were also made for coffee, so stop by the kiosk on 6th in Eugene or 42nd in Springfield and enjoy an espresso along with your meal. Breakfast shouldn't just be important, it should be good. Burrito Amigos in Eugene and Springfield.
I'm Jeremy. And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call, the one means no matter what the problem. From security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7. Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's locally supported by Mitsubishi Electric. So their Mitsubishi Electric factory-trained technicians will ready your house for any season. Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
The Wake Up Call Mattress Mania Team Challenge is right around the corner. Friday, July 15th at Springfield Golf Club. Shotgun start 8 a.m. Tons of fun and great prizes, like the Oak Grove Guns $1 Million Shot, a 50-foot putt for $5,000 sponsored by Cuthbert Amphitheater, and a bushel of cash hole-in-one brought to you by Dietering Orchards. Of course, there's KP Long Drive, Straight Drive for men and women. Register now at kpnw.com. $99 gets you golf and lunch in our two-person scramble July 15th. It's the Wake Up Call Mattress Mania Team Challenge. Register today.
It's the big happenings in the Valley and the state. This is the Wake Up Call on 1120 KPNW with Bill London.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. A senior at Thurston High School is in jail this morning after a classmate reported that the 18-year-old Joel Craig had brought a gun to school. Craig was arrested on a single count of first-degree disorderly conduct. Springfield police are saying they don't have a gun, but they have impounded Craig's car, and they're trying to get a search warrant. A school resource officer was given the tip Wednesday morning that Craig was armed and had previously sent texts to other students threatening school violence. Craig was selected as the Elks Lodge Student of the Year and was a member of Lane County Search and Rescue. Governor Kate Brown has approved using statewide resources to fight a big, fast-moving fire that has threatened over 900 homes in Central Oregon. Brad Ford has that story.
The Ackawanna fire started Tuesday, apparently by lightning, and quickly grew to more than 2,000 acres. It's burning southwest of Lake Billy Chinook. Rod Nichols with the Oregon Department of Forestry says winds are part of the problem.
The winds are expected to persist at least for another 24 hours.
The other problem is the dry fuel.
Heavy brush, and then the beetle-killed ponderosa pine there, which burns very readily.
Residents are under a level 2 evacuation order, which means be set and ready to go. The area is very dry. Central Oregon declared the start of fire season last Friday. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Well, it's quite an event that's going on right now at the University of Oregon, or actually will be going on in just a couple of hours. It is the NCAA Track and Field Championships. Day one was yesterday. Rob has the details.
Yeah, day one of the NCAA Track and Field Championships in the books. Duck Edward Cheserek continued his win streak by winning the 10,000 meters after leaving the rest in the dust on the final lap. If you're not keeping track, it was his 14th NCAA title. It was his third title in a row at the 10,000 meter mark. The junior had leg injuries this spring, so a great time to peak. Devin Allen moved on as expected in the 110 hurdles, his specialty, posting a time of 13.38. He moved on in the 200 as well, finishing 6th. Greg Skipper put some points on the board for Oregon, as you might imagine. In the hammer, he took 3rd with a lifetime best of 2:34.2, his last meet in college. He commented on what it's like to compete in front of the home crowd.
I love throwing in front of the home crowd, and I can't say enough about the Hayward Field magic, and it's been amazing to be here at Oregon for the last 5 years. So.
Oregon finished with 19 points, the men, and looks like they will add some more points today on the slate. The final two events, the 5,000 and the 4x400 relay. We start with the updates 9:30 this morning with Justin Phillips out there at Hayward Field, right here hourly on KPNW. Bill, back to you.
Outgoing Eugene City Councilor George Brown has managed to put a hold, at least temporarily, on a stormwater fee increase that was supposed to take effect at the first of the month. Brown believes that the 7.4% increase was too much without a full explanation about where the revenue was going. The council voted 6-1 in favor of Brown's motion to delay the increase until Public Works can give a full accounting of where that money is going and why it's needed. City Manager John Reese is empowered by code to set that fee. Sewer fees, by the way, will still increase on July 1st. A 54-year-old Cresswell man is accused of shooting his wife's dog, Kuno, a 6-year-old German Shepherd, and may have a history of threatening her with a gun. Gregory Scott Forgy allegedly shot Kuno at a home on Camaswale Road for unknown reasons.
Forgy did make arrangements to have family take him and the dog to the veterinary hospital in Springfield, and unfortunately the pup's injuries were fatal and he died on the 6th.
Sergeant Kerry Carver of the Lane County Sheriff's Office says at the vet's office, Forgy was disruptive, loud, and cursing. Forgy was arrested by sheriff's deputies and booked into the Lane County Jail on charges of first-degree animal abuse, pointing a firearm at another, unlawful use of a weapon, and other charges. Oregon Governor Kate Brown wants all Oregon school districts to test drinking water for unsafe levels of lead. Brad Ford says the Oregon Health Authority and the Oregon Department of Education will be helping.
The state will show school districts how to navigate the process.
We'll be working closely with schools and with daycare programs to provide support to them as they go forward with that testing.
Rob Cowie with the Oregon Health Authority says they'll help connect them with labs that'll test the water.
Those will be the laboratories that the Oregon Health Authority will be working with to collect lab results and post those online.
They'll work with school districts and daycare centers to conduct the testing. It'll be done over the summer so corrective action can be in place for the start of school in the fall. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Now, because of testing in the local area, the Eugene 4J School District found 4 schools that had lead in certain drinking fountains. Because of that, they're passing out bottled water to students at those schools. Bradley Allen arrested by the Douglas County Sheriff's Office at a home in the Green District of Roseburg. Law enforcement had been searching for the 23-year-old in connection with a shooting of an 18-month-old boy. Brooklyn Weicker called police saying her little boy had been shot by an unknown man while they were hiking in the Idlewild Park area. As investigators questioned the woman, she eventually told them that Allen, her boyfriend, had been hiking with them together when Allen's .22 caliber gun accidentally went off, hitting her son. Officials said she later told deputies that she took Allen into town and he reportedly ran away. Allen also happens to be a felon. He was wanted on a parole violation. The boy was airlifted to a Portland hospital. He's expected to survive. Starting today, United Airlines is going to be introducing mainline aircraft service to the Eugene Airport and San Francisco International Airport. It means that larger aircraft are going to be arriving in Eugene, and the smaller United planes will disappear.
It's kind of a trade-off. So we will have fewer daily frequencies, but we will have more seat capacity. So that means that if you are trying to get a flight either to San Francisco or a connecting flight through San Francisco, you'll have a better chance of getting the flight you want.
Assistant Airport Director Catherine Stevens says the larger planes, the A319s and A320s, seat up to 150 passengers, whereas the smaller regional jets only seated between 50 and 70 passengers. The larger aircraft have higher priority under flow control at San Francisco, and that'll mean fewer fog and weather delays. Alaska Airlines is starting to use fuel made from corn to power some of its jets. Brad Ford reports their goal is to reduce greenhouse gases.
Alaska Airlines has used a fuel that's partially produced from corn to fly jets to San Francisco and Washington, D.C. Joe Sprague with Alaska Airlines says if they could use it to replace 20% of their fuel, it would reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 142,000 metric tons.
Which is the equivalent of approximately 30,000 cars being removed from the roads each year.
The more the fuel is used, the lower it'll cost to produce.
A large quantity of biofuels to be produced so that we can start using them not just on demonstration flights, but on all of our flights.
Using sustainable fuel is a goal for Alaska. The airline has previously used cooking oil biofuel to fly multiple commercial passenger flights. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Crews have removed the last of the crude oil from a train that derailed Friday in the tiny Columbia River Gorge town of Mosier. The Oregon Department of Environmental Quality reports the oil has been trucked to the Dalles. Union Pacific spokesperson Justin Jacobs says that the oil is eventually going to be taken by train to Tacoma, but that's not going to be happening until it meets with the community. Union Pacific said that they won't move any new crude oil until trains through Mosier, or they won't be moving any new crude oil trains through Mosier until a cause of the crash is determined and the community is notified. However, some trains that carry mixed goods may be moving some crude oil through the town. Demonstrators want to see oil trains banned from the Columbia River Gorge.
This is a crucial watershed, a very sensitive area, and if there have to be any oil trains at all, this is not the route they should be taking.
Eric Gross took part in a demonstration yesterday. Native American tribes plan to demonstrate today. Work continues there, of course, at the site. They say now that most of the damaged cars have been transported to Portland on trucks. An Oregon member of Congress is also calling for tougher controls on oil trains. Brad Ford says the derailment in Mosier was too close to Congressman Greg Walden's home.
On the floor of the House, Congressman Greg Walden called for improvements on rail lines used for transporting hazardous materials.
We need to make sure that track improvements are required, that new fasteners are used to deal with issues where, in this case, perhaps it is a track separation issue.
Investigators believe a bolt failure caused the derailment. Walden's house is 7 miles from the site where the train derailed and burned last Friday.
We need to make sure we've got the most up-to-date safety, the most up-to-date training, and the safest cars and tracks possible.
Walden visited the site of the derailment over the weekend. He has also met with executives from Union Pacific and Burlington Northern Santa Fe, the two railroads that transport oil through the Columbia River Gorge. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
The Oregon Liquor Control Commission is racing to finalize regulations for growing, processing, and selling recreational pot and issue licenses to hundreds of businesses within a few months. Commission Chair Rob Patridge says the commission is trying to accommodate everybody. The commission issued its first recreational pot licenses May 2nd to 8 businesses, and they're dealing with more than 1,500 applications. Oregon's Revenue Department processed about $10.5 million in marijuana tax payments through April 29th, which is far more than expected. The Legislative Revenue Office then increased its estimate of net tax revenues from recreational pot from $8.4 million to $35 million through June of next year. Oregon's motor voter law starts its second phase tomorrow, contacting 140,000 people who went to the DMV over the last couple of years and aren't registered to vote. Molly Woon in the Secretary of State's office says they'll have 3 options.
You can send this mailer back and tell us, no, I don't want to be registered to vote. You can send the mailer back and choose a political party if you want to join a political party, or you can do nothing, and after 21 days you will be added to the voter registration rolls as a non-affiliated voter.
In the 6 months since the law took effect, more than 50,000 people have been registered to vote. It's 8:20. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
NBA Finals, the Cleveland Cavaliers decided to take part in the series. Finally, having a game at home helped. After losing by 33 and 15 points, LeBron and company returned the favor and ran the Golden State Warriors out of Ohio, turning it on, beating the defending champs 120-90. LeBron James scored 32. Kyrie Irving added another 30 for the Cavs. Steph Curry, who seemed distracted and aloof throughout the game, he led the Warriors with 19. Oregon football team, Wednesday, they got a commit from U.S. Army All-American defensive tackle Rutger Reitmeier. He had received offers from Nebraska, Tennessee, Penn State, Arkansas, and West Virginia, among others. The 6'3", 270-pound Reitmeier coming from Lipscomb Academy out of Nashville. Oklahoma won their third NCAA softball championship on Wednesday, besting Auburn in Game 3, the title game, 2-1. Third-seeded Sooners scored their 2 runs in the first inning. So you've probably heard, but if not, tennis star Maria Sharapova has been given a 2-year suspension after she tested for meldonium, which just became a banned substance December 31st. She's appealing the punishment. It will be telling to see how much of her $25 million estate and empire takes a hit. If somebody has a good spell check, maybe send it to Adidas. They are receiving bad marks for spelling and the spelling of the country Colombia, where they used a U. Adidas, which is based in Portland, might have been thinking of their competitors, Columbia, which is across town. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle, where you can always get a free consultation from a certified nutritionist. I'm Franklin, across from Market of Choice. News time, 8:22.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we've got mostly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the mid-50s to the low 60s with light winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking a couple of sprinkles on radar, but no real rain accumulation. As we move through the day around your lunchtime, I expect the cold front will sweep through the area. That's when we have our best chance of getting about a 5 or 10 minute burst of showers. But I only expect about a 1/10 of an inch maximum as the cold front will sweep quickly into the Cascades. Now, the same cold front will give us partly cloudy skies for a few hours in the afternoon, and that will keep the highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. But as we approach the evening, mostly cloudy skies move back into the area. area. Now, we're tracking a couple of isolated and weak storm systems, but they have decent cold fronts in them. Those will be moving through over the next 24, 48, and 72 hours. Simply put, we have a good chance of showers off and on for your Friday as well as your Saturday. Temps back in the 60s, but we may see a few isolated thunderstorms Saturday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day and you enjoy the fact it is much cooler.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
Make sure you check out SM Gun Shop before you buy at a big box store. SM Gun Shop takes trades and they have a large selection of quality used firearms with competitive pricing. SM Gun Shop on River Road in Eugene, serving Lane County's gun enthusiasts since 1980.
Spring into camping at the RV Corral. New Winnebago trailers from $16,995. New Hideout trailers from $14,995. And the new Cougars from only $21,995. Check out Lane County's best selection of Winnebago Class A's and C's. Allegro by Tiffin, the Sunseeker lineup. And now RV Corral is the new dealer for Fleetwood Motorhomes. New or used toy hauler, trailer, fifth wheel, diesel or gas. Think award-winning RV Corral. Highway 99 or RVCorral.com. Why go anywhere else?
Join Max Muscle for our 5-year anniversary this Saturday. Meet 4-time Mr. Olympian Jay Cutler and former Duck and NFL star Jeff Mayle. Great food from Qdoba, tons of in-store specials and giveaways. Max Muscle of Eugene, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Endurance, speed, and power of elite student athletes will be on display. The sights, the sounds, the intensity of an NCAA championship. It all comes down to this moment. Time to lay it all on the line. Be there to share the experience with your family and friends. The 2016 NCAA Division I Men's and Women's Outdoor Track and Field Championships, June 8th through the 11th at historic Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. Visit ncaa.com/track and field to secure your championship tickets today.
Sponsored by T-Mobile. Switch to the Un-carrier today. T-Mobile.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Oregon did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Oregon School Activities Association and the Oregon Athletic Directors Association.
You'll find us at home, at work, in the car. This is the Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
8:26. Wake Up Call 1120 KPNW. Gary Conley is on assignment. So we thought we'd look back and get some archived Gary, maybe some Conley that you might have missed. And that's what we got for you right now.
So last week we decided, we're going to do a little incorporated new thing where we're going to just kind of introduce a vocabulary word sort of at the beginning of the segment. And you asked yesterday, we were tossing ideas around for a segment, and you asked, by the way, what about the vocabulary word? And I wanted to talk about shell corporations. And more emails ensued, and then we just decided that, okay, we'll define what shell corporations are, but we're just going to talk about corporations in general for the entire segment.
So is that the term today?
Shell corporation.
Okay. But we're going to leave it till the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So corporations.
All right.
A long and varied history, starting back in the 12th, 13th century?
Yeah, back in Venice, when Venice rose to prominence as and world trade really started between Europe and China. And the corporate form, or at least the roots of it, have to do with limited liability. Because if you had financed some kind of a venture back before a corporation, and it went bad, then it could reach into your entire, what we would now call net worth, all of your assets. I don't know, I suppose at that time they probably could have taken your wife and children too.
Or even worse, your cows and pigs.
Could be. Yeah, could be. So the corporate form basically limits your exposure or liability to whatever you have put in. In other words, whatever capital that you have contributed to the corporation. And at that point, they were basically financing ships, among other things, for trading vessels, and that's where and a lot of those sunk, and the pirates got a lot of them, and that's where the term "your ship came from, because it literally did come in. So that's the root of the corporation. And if you look at, if you fast forward to today, again, it's a business form which allows for limited liability, not the only one that allows for limited liability, but it literally is an entity in and of its own that's taxed and, has its own persona, if you will.
All right. Different types of corporations, too, at that.
Well, there are a couple of different types. There's what's called a C corporation, which is literally a standalone entity, and it has its own business and is taxed on its income, and whatever profits that whoever's running the corporation might decide to send to the shareholders in the form of dividends then is taxed again at the personal level. So that corporate profits really, or distributed corporate profits, are taxed twice. Interest is deductible to the corporation or to any business. Interest income is taxable to the individual. But you really have part of the reason that you have so much debt and so little comparatively equity in today's capital structures is because that the interest is tax deductible. If the dividends were tax deductible, and or if the interest, you might have a different structure, and you might have a little bit less risk in some ways. The other type of corporation, which is typically used for much smaller businesses, is called a subchapter S corporation. This refers to parts of the Internal Revenue Code. And that's what's called a flow-through entity, so that the corporation itself doesn't pay any taxes, but whatever profits or losses flow through to the individual owners proportionately to their percentage ownership.
Okay, so on the S Corp, what happens is then, just to make sure that I'm understanding this, is that the corporation itself, the taxes are not, if you will, extracted from the corporation until they actually get back to the guys or gals or gal that owns that particular corporation. So their personal earnings at that point are taxed, but not the corporation.
Right. The corporation doesn't pay any tax at that point. And it wouldn't necessarily have to be an individual that it flowed back to either. I mean, it could be some other kind of corporate entity or partnership.
Is there a limit or a maximum amount of folks that can be involved in any singular S Corp? So, for instance, in corporations, if you're selling shares, technically you've got hundreds, maybe thousands or more people that, are all invested in this particular corporation. Is there a limitation or a ceiling on how many people can be in an S Corp?
There is, but I can't remember what it is. It's somewhere north of 100 now. I think once upon a time it was 10. So that particular limitation, as you point out, would have a tendency to keep some of these businesses a lot smaller than huge corporations, which have attracted all the attention and animosity from politicians and others at this point. But it's important to know that a corporation is, literally a business structure, the original purpose of which is to limit liability or limit your risk to whatever it is that you might have in that particular corporation or business.
Okay, so you want to get to our friend, the Shell Corporation? Or?
Well, I want to make one other point too, and that is that for certain types of risky ventures, as you know, back in Venice and other kinds of things, biotechs or what have you, then certainly a corporation is the only way that you're going to be able to raise capital, because people would not be willing to risk their entire economic being on some of these schemes. But part of the reason that we're in the situation that we are now is that some of the large investment banks and broker-dealers, let's take Goldman Sachs, for example, a number of years ago, that went from a partnership, a general partnership, to a corporation. So in a corporate form, it can take all kinds of risks, and as we said, the corporation is the only thing that is the only money that's at risk. Before, these Wall Street firms were general partnerships, and literally the partners, everything that the partners owned, were at risk because of, you could reach back through them. So part of the reason that these companies are so highly leveraged and willing to take so much risk at this point is because, number one, they're so large, and number two, the main owners, or the people who are actually running them, don't have the same risk that they used to. Personal risk.
Right.
So,
and being too large to fail, when they risk it all and they lose, they know the taxpayer is going to bail them out.
And that's exactly right. And that's part of the reason that we are where we are. So,
all right. Well, with that happy thought, shell corporations.
All right. So a shell corporation is simply a structure that doesn't have any business assets or business operations of its own. It would typically be a depository or an entity that has is a shell for other kinds of business entities. And at this point, it's because it's been used for tax havens and things that are quasi-legal or illegal, that the term shell corporation has come to to be in the news. Particularly with the Panama Papers, where you've got corporations formed in Panama, and the only thing that you can tell is that the law firm is the what's called the nominee, or the front man for the manager of the corporation. But it's important to know that a shell corporation doesn't say anything about the purpose of it. It's got some legitimate uses also. You might want to use what would be a shell corporation if you were, let's say, running different kinds of real estate ventures, and you didn't want your competitors to know quite what you were doing, because it'd give away your competitive advantage. There are other times that you wind up with a shell corporation because it was an operating business, but it either sold the operations to somebody else, or it failed and went out of business, but the entity still exists. And from time to time, you've seen people buy up shares in a shell corporation that's traded publicly as kind of a backdoor way to go public. So a shell corporation in and of itself is not anything that's
inherently evil or illegal.
Right, or inherent. What you have to do is look through it to see what it's actually doing, to the extent that you can tell, and what the purpose of it is. Again, it's like a corporation. It's just a business form or a business entity that's got both legitimate and illegitimate purposes. And what I'd submit, whether you're talking about corporations or shell corporations or banks or restaurants or anything else, is that you've got bad people everywhere. So you need to be careful about taking some of these terms, whether it's a corporation, which has is a legitimate form that's helped us get where we are, a shell corporation, or nearly anything else, and understand what it actually is and what it actually means.
Okay, Gary. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. That's Conley on tape. Vintage Conley. 8:38. News Radio 1120 KPNW. Cloudy and 54 degrees currently. The wake-up call.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. U.S. stocks are falling on Wall Street, with the S&P 500 index slipping from a 10-month high amid speculation that equities may have run too far too fast, given the lackluster prospects for global growth. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 52 points to 17,952. S&P 500 index falling 7 points, the Nasdaq dropping 14. The weekly Bloomberg Consumer Comfort Index shows household confidence is up to its highest level since April, as Americans feel better about the economy and the buying climate. And Arianna Huffington may be ready to expand her media empire. The founder of the Huffington Post has been talking to investors about a new company called Thrive. It will provide lifestyle content for celebrities and bloggers. It would also offer wellness consulting services to companies. Donna Wilson, Bloomberg Radio.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
And last but not least, the backyard.
Wow, is that new siding? How'd you fit that into the budget?
Well, actually, that's the old siding.
No way.
Yeah, a little sanding and some Rada Cover Coat exterior paint with a lifetime warranty made it look brand new.
You know, now you just need a trampoline.
Well, my birthday is next week.
Keep dreaming, buddy.
Trust the professionals at Rada Paint. Find the expert nearest you at radapaint.com.
Rada Paint. Finish right.
When you donate new pants, shirts, skirts, and tops to Sleep Train foster kids, you're not just donating clothes.
They're a lot more than that. You're giving something special.
To a child in foster care, new clothes can be a source of confidence and self-expression.
Feeling good about myself. Looking good. Showing my style. Different in a good way.
To help, Sleep Train is collecting new clothes for foster kids big and small, so they can have the clothes they need and replace those they've outgrown or that have become worn out.
It's about feeling normal. Figuring out who I am and just being me. I look good.
Help a foster child look good on the outside and feel good on the inside by bringing your gift of new clothing to any Sleep Train location or donate online at sleeptrain.com.
Not everyone could be a foster parent, but anyone can help a foster child.
Looking for a summer project your kids will love? How about hosting a Foster Kids Clothing Drive? It's a great way to have fun while giving back. Sleep Train's Clothing Drive is on now.
Come to the forest. It's a place not so far away. A place where you don't have to mow the lawn or babysit.
I saw lizards and squirrels and ducks, ladybugs, caterpillars. It's really cool, actually.
A place where you don't have to make time for free time.
Lots and lots of kinds of species here.
Out here, you may even meet the mysterious creature known as the other you. The enchanted you.
It's magic what flowers do.
The adventurous you.
My favorite tree, yes, is that one.
The free-to-be-me you. Ask your parents to take you to this not-so-far-away place. Come to the forest, where the other you lives. But first, stop by discovertheforest.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're already out and about, we do have mostly cloudy skies from an approaching weak storm system and cold front setting to move through the area over the next few hours. Temps right now in the mid-50s to low 60s with winds out of the west at 5 to 10. And we do have a 20% chance of a few light sprinkles out there, but I don't expect any real accumulation. Now, as we move through the day around noontime, the cold front will pass through. That's when we will have a chance of showers that could last 5 or 10 minutes. And we could be talking about maybe 1/10 of an inch. As we move into the afternoon, we'll see a couple hours of partly cloudy skies, but I don't expect them to last long. long. Highs will only be in the upper 60s to low 70s, so much cooler than it has been the last few days. Winds will stay southwest at 5 to 10, and we're tracking several disturbances, bringing chances of showers into Friday and Saturday, and maybe even just a few isolated thunderstorms Saturday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Well, you may be one of the folks that during the hot weather had your car victimized by the hot conditions. Actually, really extremely hot weather is the hardest on older vehicles, and it's well known that it becomes a problem during the summer for vehicles that have maybe cooling system problems or other issues, and the hot weather just literally puts a spike through them. Well, if you're one of those folks and you've had credit problems as well in the past, you're trying to go to work and now you're without a vehicle and you're wondering how you're going to get into one, head out to Guaranteed Discount Chevrolet, the Good People with Bad Credit program. If you're somebody that's got a job, you're working to get your credit back online, they can help you get into a quality, safe, reliable vehicle in 48 hours or less. And they will help you not only get into the vehicle, but it also will help you get your credit back on track. So contact Guaranteed Discount Chevrolet, 541-998-2333, 541-998-2333. It's Guaranteed Discount Chevrolet and the Good People with Bad Credit program.
Wayne County, Oregon, and the nation. Hear it here every day on the Wake Up Call. Holloway in London and News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I would imagine it is the cheapest MBA that anyone could possibly be involved with. Wouldn't you say?
The cheapest?
Yeah. Do you know how much it costs to get an MBA?
I'm tracking with you.
Now do you get it?
I get it.
Okay, good deal. You're on top of it there, Tab. You're fast this morning. Look at you.
I'm not known for quick wit, just creativity.
Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. All righty.
It is the cheapest MBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's right. It's the Mackenzie Business Association, which is a group of folk that get together and help each other out in a variety of ways. And Tab Davis, one of our salespeople and friend of the Wake Up Call, and you have been for years, is a member of the MBA, and you brought a guest with you this morning.
I did. I brought with me Janice Grange. Janice is with Make It So, and she also has a business, A Healthy Start. Longtime member of MBA, served many roles. So I aspire to be like Janice. As I take over my role in July. So it was fun to be able to bring her in and talk about how at Mackenzie Business Association, we have an opportunity together to help people build their brand.
Go ahead, Janice. Yeah, boy, she brought in the right representative, didn't she?
You're supposed to ask me a question.
You brought in a firecracker there, Tap.
I've been with Mackenzie Business Association for about 6 years, and yes, I have played many roles there. I have been the president. I've been the vice president. I actually served as the executive secretary for about 2 years when Mickey Waters took a leave.
Oh, Mickey.
Yes. So, and now I'm just a member.
Just a member.
Well, okay, so why? I mean, okay, so you've had all these different roles. The question is, you know, why did you join to begin with, and why do you remain a member of it? I mean, as far as being a business person.
It's a great group of people that are very, very loyal. The group's been around for, I don't know, 30 or 40 or 50 years, and some people have been there for many, many years. It's a great networking opportunity. The first time that I went to visit, somebody asked me to do work for them. I wasn't even a member, and I just continued to go. I get work every week from there. I use a lot of the services from the members that are there. It just has really helped both of my businesses grow.
We might be presumptuous in people understanding what the association is all about. Can you kind of describe what it is?
It's a networking meeting. We meet for breakfast every Tuesday morning from 7:15 till about 7:45, and it's just a networking group. We have one representative from each business industry in the group, so we don't have duplicates in there, and we have a presentation by one of the members each week, and then we have a short product presentation by a different member each week, and then we have get-togethers after hours. We
We do a number of different things, and the purpose behind it is we know in this community that relationship is king. So in business, a referral is the best kind of a lead that you can get, someone who already knows about you and is comfortable with you. So these groups, McKinsey Business Association specifically, is designed to help people get warm leads from people who already know about them. Relationship is king, like I mentioned, and this community buys and acts and reacts based on relationships that they already have with people. You know, if you don't have good relationship here, your business really struggles. And so it's not only a place where someone who's been here and grown up here, like I have, can connect with different kinds of people, but if you're coming from a different area and you're starting a business here, it's also a great way to get connected with a group of folks and get to know them and build relationship in a quicker way to jumpstart a business. So there's a couple different schools of thought on who can be involved. And like Janice mentioned, it's very category exclusive. I'm the only radio advertising person. She's the only embroidery person.
And the only vitamin salesperson in our particular group. So if I want to do radio advertising, I would look to tab.
You get kicked out of the group.
I get kicked out of the group. No, if I wanted to put my business on the radio advertising, I would look to tab. And if I wanted my air conditioning fixed, I would look to Marshall's Heating and Air. If I wanted my auto body shop, I would go to Todd's Auto Body.
Those are shameless plugs. Ding,
yeah,
ding, ding.
that's exactly what that is. Our shameless plug.
But those are members of McKinsey Business Association, and so if I'm here, if I'm on Facebook or if I'm on some other form of social media, or I overhear a conversation, and it happened to me this week. Someone said, "I'm looking for someone to fix my HVAC system. My air conditioner's broken down. It's hot outside." I know somebody that I trust, that I have a relationship with, and I can tell you confidently they will do a good job for you because I have a relationship with them. I spend a lot of time with them. Like Janice mentioned, we spend time together every single week getting to know each other and how we function and what we do.
It's like a big family.
It's like a big family.
It's like a big business family.
Big business family. And we know we can trust them. We know we can trust them. And we know that they're going to treat our referrals with high integrity.
When was the last time somebody broke the bubble and joined the group?
Oh, we have new members all the time. We've actually had 4 or 5 new members this year, which doesn't seem like a lot, but this is a group of 35 people at the beginning of the year. We're now up to about 40 people, and it's kind of stayed that sort of 30 to 40, but that's 30 or 40 different industries represented. So while it sounds like maybe a smaller number, that's actually a quite a good number of folks. And there's lots of categories that are still available. We just recently had a florist that came on board. We hadn't had one for a number of years. A new insurance guy came in. Steve Lamper with Affordable Insurance Solutions just joined.
And Jason Stubbs just joined.
Which you know quite well. Right. So
yeah, we had Jason on the show.
Right.
Yeah, so 2 different kinds of insurance. So that's a good example of how some categories seem to overlap but really don't. One is property and auto,
health.
and the other one's medical health. So we do differentiate in that way.
So, I mean, do you have to be in Springfield to join this?
No.
I mean,
no, Eugene and Springfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's not called, it used to be called Springfield Executive Association, and they changed the name 20-some years ago to be McKinsey Business Association, so it can represent the whole valley.
And you don't have to be a man to be a part of this group, which is, I say that because recently,
I would never have figured that.
Recently,
the same.
Well, you have both of us. There's not a lot of ladies in the group, but there's a few of us.
And there's a few more now.
And there's a few more. But recently, one of the members busted out the original bylaws from the early 70s, and it said you had to be a male business person in good standing in the community to be a part of this group.
So did you have to go through like a big debate and everything and discussion to change the bylaws? I mean, was it a contentious discussion?
I was not a part of that, but I suspect no. I suspect no. I think there was just this understanding that things are not the way they used to be. But it was a funny thing to discover as we were going through it. We all were just like, what is that about, Did
it also tell you where you had to tie up your mules?
Whatever. Something like in the 70s. I don't think so. But what's interesting is it goes from that to, we stay current on what's going on in the community and what's going on in society. And next month in July, I take over as the president for the rest of the year of McKinsey Business Association. So
look at you, braggart.
Come a long ways.
That should be a hoot.
What is that supposed to be?
Yeah, what does that mean? Can somebody, if they just want to come see what it's all about, can they just come by?
Absolutely, you can come and visit. You can actually visit 3 times without having to join. So yes. Anybody can come.
Tuesday morning, 6:45 at Holiday Inn. Hilton Garden Inn at Gateway. Every Tuesday morning.
So early.
It is early. It is early.
Early bird gets the worm. That's what they say, right?
Right.
That's true.
And we are definitely that.
They say that.
Do
What,
you guys have
worms
a
or birds?
Facebook page or a website or anything?
Yes, they have a Facebook page.
It's not. It's really not about that. I mean, it's really just about.
Well, we're just talking
business.
about, place where people can go to get more information about you guys.
There is a website also.
It's McKinsey Business Association
.com, isn't it?
Something.
Just Google it.
Google it. Google
Yeah.
it.
She's the president, by the way, taking over. So
I'm not the executive secretary that knows all this stuff.
What did we miss? Anything that you wanted to talk about or brag?
Well, the only thing is, Janice and I are there to help people build their businesses, and Janice does a great job with building imaging with her embroidery services. So if you're looking for someone, Janice is your gal.
Aren't you going to give a plug to yourself, Tab?
I am all things radio. We know this. I've been in here. Your listeners know me. But if you don't know me, Tab Davis by Coastal Media.
Yeah, call her and she'll get advertising on the air for you.
No matter who you're trying to reach, I've got their ear.
Yeah, that's right. Make sure that you ask for Tab. Don't ask for the other folks down there. Ask for Tab specifically. Tab only.
Tab.
If you call up and just say, I only want to talk to Tab. I don't want to talk to Tom or anybody else. Just Tab.
I just can't walk back down to the end of the building this morning.
It'll be in bad
Tab. Ask for Tab.
Tomorrow, remarkably different than the last 3 hours. I'm just going to say, don't. If this is your first go around with the show,
we were drunk.
Tomorrow will be different. I guarantee you. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for coming in. It's 8:54. Time for us to vamoose. Don't forget. Day 2 of the NC2A Championships. We kick in with the reports coming across at 9:30 with Justin Phillips, and they go hourly throughout the day. All right? Go Ducks. Go Beavs. See you tomorrow.
If you use a free credit monitoring service, you may think it will also protect your identity. But what you may not realize is that some free credit monitoring services feel free to sell your personal information. And that's a big price to pay. At LifeLock, we would never, ever sell your personal information. Instead, we help to protect you from identity theft by using proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a wide range of potential threats. And in the event that we